This week we take you to the scenic village of Bonaccord to explore Cypress Villa 194. Are you thinking to shop till you drop or maybe participate in all the water sports the island has to offer? Stay with us. In the next half an hour, I'll tell you why you should consider the Bonaccord community and choose this villa for your next vacation. I'm Davia Chambers and Let's Talk Tobago starts now. Highlights on the opening of the new meteorological office. We take you to the postpartum hemorrhage training and later details on the financial literacy workshop. And this week, we introduce a new segment called THA Footnotes. Stay tuned for details on this and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues. We'll be right back.
I'm Newton George, and I'm a tour guide specializing in bird watching. I really got into this thing through my dad, who was an ardent birder, and he was the custodian of Little Tobago. I started to do bird watching now as a career because of my love for these birds. And it has taken me to Africa, to Brazil, to Germany, to India. Bird watching is a part of the tourism industry, and tourism is all our thing.
Welcome back. The construction of Cypress Villa was inspired by family. Two brothers decided to create identical villas next to each other to accommodate both their families together on holidays. Now, this was an exciting experience that they wanted to share with others, so they decided to rent the villas. Now this, a big story for the weather. No, it's not what you think. A spanking new meteorological services building was opened a few days ago in Tobago. Now this is a major development for the island. Let's get the details in our top story.
It took a while, but Tobago finally got a dedicated home for the meteorological services for the island, and by extension the country. With this, the island can be better prepared for any weather-related disaster. The unit is also outfitted with the latest weather technology.
Cabinet in September of 2007 agreed to the construction of a new meteorological services building at the A&R Robinson International Airport, adjacent to the Fire Services Department. And construction of this building began in February 2015 with a sod turning ceremony right here on this spot.
Chief Secretary Orville London praised the central government for this investment in Tobago. He said now Tobago can be notified of any disaster in a timely fashion.
I don't think any of us can undervalue the importance of this facility and the significance of this particular event. I think all of us in Tobago, in all small islands, recognize how very vulnerable we are to natural disasters. And therefore, anything that assists in ensuring that we have timely warning that will improve our disaster preparedness is something, of course, that has to be appreciated.
According to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, despite the economy being up and down, The newly constructed Met Center will serve a great purpose for Tobago and the national economy, and so they are willing to continue to invest in the island.
We are committed to making these kinds of investments in Tobago because the returns are going to be beneficial to Tobago and the national economy.
This modern building is outfitted with the latest international ICT and smart technology which more than meets international standards. The building is located at Cromston Trace in Crown Point. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
Cypress Villa was constructed in 2004 and it reflects a more traditional style. The owners were inspired by the cypress wood found throughout the residence, and so they named the property after the tree. Now, what lies beneath the ocean in the Rockley Bay Archaeological Research Project now gives a thrill to students from Tobago. The students have the opportunity of a lifetime as they work with professors and graduates from the United States. Here's more in this story.
Students from Tobago will be able to explore the island's underwater treasures at Rockley Bay through the Tobago Subsea program. The program will enable them to work with professors and graduate students from the United States and the United Kingdom at the Rockley Bay Archaeological Site.
Those remote-operated vehicles would go underwater. We would use it for two purposes. One, for the environmental program, where the ROVs, they would be built by students. These remote-operated vehicles would go underwater, and we could at least see all the debris in the Scarborough Harbor. We will also be able to see the cannons and whatever artifacts are being found.
The program will also have an environmental aspect. Now, this will be done in collaboration with the Jane Goodall Institute's Roots and Shoots project. It will enable our young people to create practical solutions to problems such as water pollution.
It is important that young people should learn that we should preserve the environment, particularly for tourism. We are a tourist-based industry here in Tobago, and if young people don't learn what aspects of what encourages tourism, then I can say for that there will be no future for us as an island.
Another program is the Oceans and Technology, a Sea of Learning. This project will use GIS, a geographic information system that will map and display data related to the Scarborough Harbor. With this technology, marine archaeologists and students can see what's on the seabed and find other artifacts.
The significance of this project in Tobago is not only historical, but future. The future of Tobago in terms of its the young people, careers. That is my whole design on this project, that young people can see this project not only for the archaeological aspect, but what can they contribute to Tobago.
There's also the initiative to twin the Dutch city of Vlissingen with Scarborough. Now, Vlissingen is where the Horsey Groningen battleship originated. It sank in the 1677 battle for Tobago between the Netherlands and France. For more insight into the work being done by the Rockley Bay Archaeological Research Project, you can log on to www.tobagoshipwrecks.com. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
The warm home away from home feeling and location of the villa keeps guests coming back. Reviews from My Tobago indicate that visitors felt the comfort of home as they opened the door. They were happy with the location of the villa as it's in walking distance to the beaches and conveniences. Small can be powerful. Our next story has details about one small device created to help people access medical services directly from their homes. Here's more in this report.
Staying active outdoors isn't always appealing for senior citizens, especially when they're facing health challenges. It's the same for some disabled people and others who are wary of a medical emergency. But in Tobago, there's a new portable pendant that's going to change this. It's a step up from the previous medical alert device, which could only be used via landline. In fact, it's designed to ensure those who are stuck at home can get out and about.
Wherever the customer experiences difficulty, same case, one button. They press that one button down. Once the system activates, it sends GPS coordinates at that location. So we have plus or minus a radius of about 5 to 10 feet ability to locate that person.
What if the user can't signal for help in an emergency? The new device has a feature for that too.
This device also has within it something known as accelerometers. This is the same devices or the same components that are found in cell phones. You know, when you have your smartphone, you turn your phone to the side, the screen rotates automatically, or you have some, like for instance, the iPods and so on, you shake them and it will shuffle your songs. That same component is inside of here. It's used as a fall meter. So let's say the person were to have a fall, pass out unconscious, so they're not able to activate the device will activate itself and make that call out for help.
The new device is part of the Emergency Medical Alert Program started in November 2012 under the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development. Clients can summon police, fire, and emergency health services via the 211 call center. The pendant has the potential to improve the quality of life of our most vulnerable citizens.
This means that now our customers can have a full life by themselves if they are by themselves, because as I said, most of our customers are home alone. So what happens is now they can go to the market, pick up some pak choy, pick up their carrots to make their soup, you know, they can go to their family's house, you know, visit relatives, visit their friends, you know, and they're never without assistance. And that's the power of this new device.
The device will be officially launched in the coming months. It will be made available to the public based on their individual living conditions and needs. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
Up next, we take you to the postpartum hemorrhage training. Let's Talk Tobago will be right back. Stay with us.
Come, there we go to Tobago, that paradise, Bombay, Robinson Crusoe. And it is said, it's the land of tomorrow. Princess Margaret say, come to Tobago for holiday. Now the whole world say, come to Tobago for holiday.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Let's Talk Tobago. For those of you looking for something different to do, the Villa Management encourages you to participate in the bioluminescence tours offered by the group Stand Up Paddle Tobago. It's a family-friendly experience that you will enjoy. Now pay attention to this. Hemorrhaging after the delivery of a baby can now be effectively managed. Tobago's doctors are being trained to treat women with postpartum hemorrhage. We have all the details in this report.
Tobago's doctors are learning how to use the anti-shock garment, a non-invasive technique to treat women with postpartum hemorrhage or PPH, excessive bleeding after delivery of a baby.
The use of the anti-shock pneumatic pads, that would have stood out because it is the least invasive and it can be used very quickly, and it's something that we can utilize, especially for transport of a patient if we have to transfer them to Trinidad.
Doctors and nurses also learned how to stop the bleeding using a balloon to compress affected areas inside the wound. Now surgery is an option to be taken only after all other methods fail to stop the bleeding. So during the PPH training, maternity staff at the Scarborough General Hospital also practiced performing brace sutures, the most invasive procedure.
The resources is not expensive, it's cost effective. There's simple, life-saving methods that's cost-effective, so there's not much money need to be spent to implement this training to save lives.
There aren't many cases of maternal deaths on the island caused by postpartum hemorrhaging, but the workshop can help save lives, so the participants are pleased to have the additional training.
What they are presented is the most up-to-date information on treatment of postpartum hemorrhage and prevention using evidence-based methods. The drugs that they are presenting today, we have most of them, but what it is really doing is updating on us on the dosages, how these drugs should be used.
PPH doesn't occur often, but when it occurs, it can be very life-threatening. So it's extremely important to be prepared for it, and this training will better enable us to provide the type of service and preventative measures to women that do end up in a situation of PPH.
This training is part of a cabinet-approved project. It's called Improving Maternal, Infant and Child Health through quality interventions in Trinidad and Tobago. The Tobago leg is a part of the Pan American Health Organization's technical cooperation with the country's regional health authorities. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Bon Accord community is in close proximity to Crown Point. In other words, there is always something fun you can do to occupy your time when away from the villa. If you happen to be out late and wondering where to eat or lime, Crown Point offers a variety of places. Now, a wise man once said, the only way to predict the future is to create it. And thanks to one organization, entrepreneurs are given an opportunity to bring their vision to life. Here are the details in this report. Have a look.
Entrepreneurs like Errol Orr have the future of Tobago's food security in the palm of their hands, literally. He runs Orr's Nursery, producing seedlings for the farming community on the island. The nursery is just one of several Tobago businesses seeking to expand their operations. Doing so successfully will help them contribute to the island's economic development. To do so, they are accessing support from the Enterprise Assistance Grant and Enterprise Assistance Fund programs.
Oh my, I tell you, I'm elated because this would actually do a lot for us because we've been basically looking for a way to really improve or to expand our operation. But of course, financing would always be an issue, a little touchy issue. And being self-employed also, sometimes poses a lot of challenges. But we want to say thanks to the Division of Finance.
I have identified the agricultural sector as an important sector that we would give support to. So today I'm really excited with respect to the prospects for this project and in terms of the integral part that this nursery plays really in the agricultural sector.
Bob's supermarket in Patience Hill had to rebuild after fire gutted the building in 2016. With funds from the Enterprise Assistance Fund, owner Peter Bob says he can now do even more.
Well, it's a great day for me and the business and the community, right? To get a check to start back my business fully.
Another grant recipient is young entrepreneur Akimola Prince. He says he'll extend his business. He also wants to engage other young Signal Hill residents in a positive way.
I really appreciate that Mr. Joel Jack came out as well in support of the event here, because we're not really doing this for ourselves, We cater for the youths around. We have a little development going on outside where we want to extend to put a nice little decking so that the youths could be able to sit down, have an ice cream, have a breakfast on mornings and so on. So we want to be able to buy up a certain amount of chillers and deep freeze and this kind of equipment to get that done.
Bellissimo Boutique Hotel also got financial support. The Division of Finance and Enterprise Development also donated benches and computer equipment to the Happy Haven School. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
You can enjoy the beauty of the flower gardens from upstairs or downstairs, as both the upper and lower floors have verandas overlooking the gardens as well as the swimming pool. So this week we introduce a new segment called THA Footnotes. This special weekly report takes you on a journey through the years, the highs and lows, the milestones and memorable moments since 1980 when the new THA was formed. So let's have a look at Footnotes.
One year ago, these families finally got the keys to their own homes. For them, it was a significant milestone. The handover was also a sign of how much the island has changed in the last 4 decades. When the Tobago House of Assembly was established in 1980, there wasn't much in the way of public housing aside from a small development in Buku. Under A.N.R. Robinson, the THA's first chairman, the Assembly purchased the Roxborough estate. It was just the start for housing in Tobago. But with little development funding, it would be some time before those efforts bore fruit. During the 1990s, the THA continued its quest to provide homes for Tobagonians who couldn't afford it. Government farmland was acquired at Signal Hill. Change came in the early 2000s. With support from the Inter-American Development Bank, the IADB, housing development was accelerated. By 2005, 214 housing units were under construction at Blenheim, Roxborough and Castara, all by Tobago contractors. In recent years, development funding has been limited. Still, the Assembly has continued its drive to ensure those who need it most have access to housing. Last year alone, over 50 units were distributed. Leslie Ann Ellis, who had been renting for several years, finally received her keys.
Very excited and elated.
And a few months ago, the THA produced the first of a new model of cost-effective housing.
While in the past or on our projects we produce units at a cost per square foot of about $600 plus, we're able to produce this unit at about $400. That represents a significant savings to the division. The time to completion, the contractor offered 3 months. I think the project was brought in 3 months and 1 week.
There's also support for Tobagonians who need to repair their homes through subsidies and grants. In 2016, funding totaled $11.5 million.
I appreciate the check from the Division of Labour and Settlements very much. The THA, thank them for it.
Meanwhile, 116 service lots have been completed in Corland and 38 in Belgarden. These subsidized lots will be distributed for Tobagonians to construct their own homes. Today, over 6,000 Tobagonians are waiting for their chance to become homeowners. And due to the ongoing economic challenges, alternative funding mechanisms like public-private partnerships are being explored. This will ensure as many people as possible will realize a major dream, a home of their own. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take a break, but when we return, we give you details on the Financial Literacy Workshop. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're exploring Cypress Villa 194. Now this two-story villa comprises 5.5 bathrooms and 5 bedrooms, which makes it very easy to sleep 10 persons comfortably. Interested in having your own home but don't know how to go about it? The Financial Literacy Fitness Program has you covered. They teach you how to take on big responsibility like owning a home. This next story fills us in.
Many people dream of owning their own home but don't know where to start. In Tobago, the Financial Literacy Fitness Program is teaching residents how to go about acquiring a house or land, starting with the documents they'll need.
For us to accept an application for a mortgage, you must have 2 or 3 forms of valid ID. A utility bill to confirm your address. Now, if the bill is not in your name, let's say it's in your mom or your dad's name, you need to get a letter from them indicating that they have given you permission to use this address.
Some people prefer to construct their own home rather than purchase a house, but they'll need to know how much money they can qualify for. Prospective property owners must also provide documents confirming that the land being sold is indeed residential development.
When you're building, you have to bring your completion certificate before your mortgage can start, right? So you can construct to the point where the house is livable.
The workshop attendees also got a lesson on how they can work out the sum they'll qualify for.
So let's assume you're within 18 to 20, let's say 29 years. You could get a 30-year mortgage. Let's say you're earning $5,700. People earning more than that now. And you have no other debts. No bank loans, no credit union loans, no hire purchase at court standards.
The program, an initiative of the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development, is preparing Tobagonians to improve their quality of life. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now the pool is the best part of this vacation destination. This large pool is shallow enough for non-swimmers to be able to join in on the fun. All roads led to the Shaw Park complex as our very own daughter of the soil, Calypso Rose, gave a performance that reminded fans why she's known as the Queen of Calypso. Listen to this.
Her voice is known all over the world, but the Queen of Calypso, Dr. MacArthur Sandy Lewis, also known as Calypso Rose, recently returned home to celebrate with her Tobagonian fans. The Calypso icon turned Shaw Park complex into a party venue, reeling off some of her long-standing hits and her newer compositions. In 1955, when she was only 15, Bethel-born Rose began her love affair with the art form. More than 50 years later, she's still on her musical journey, despite the many obstacles she's faced in her career.
Someone who was not limited by gender. When she won the first Calypso King competition in Trinidad, in evidently what we knew as a man's world. In fact, that year, 1978, in honor of her, they changed it from the king to the Calypso monarch instead. She's someone who was not limited by her environment, since she was the first Trinidad and Tobago artist to go gold on the international music charts.
Calypso Rose has earned many awards and made history as a Caribbean artist. She's also shattered her fair share of glass ceilings.
She has ignited a tempo in many of our hearts that transcends age, gender, ethnicity. And so tonight, it's about appreciation for the work of a daughter of the soil who continues to represent our country with the highest of standards as a cultural ambassador.
But the event was more than a tribute concert. It also marked the start of celebrations for Tobago's Carnival 2K17. The night featured performances from Tobago's Calypso and Soca stars. And after rousing performances from Adana and the Mighty Shadow, it was time for Calypso Rose to show why she's still a crowd favorite. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear what you, the viewers, have to say. So today we're asking, why is volunteering important? While you think about it, let's take a look at who had their say this week.
Volunteering is important because you feel a sense of fulfillment because you did something really great in someone's life to help them along the way.
It's an act of kindness, an act of generosity to give back of what God has blessed you with.
For the younger person, they could learn from the experience of the age and from other people who they volunteer in their services to, and it gives the opportunity of the age or the other to share their wealth and their abilities with others.
You give back to community and also you help let the tradition of your country be known and passed on.
You feel very appreciated of what somebody volunteered to give to you, and I think that is a really nice thing to volunteer to do something.
It's a way of giving back to society. It's a way of giving thanks and being appreciative to other individuals that you live among.
It continues to keep the traditions and everything intact. You know, certain things that we may not learn from our parents, we can learn from our parents' parents.
I think it's my duty. I think God gave me these talents to pass it on. And volunteering is one way of passing on whatever gift God gave to you.
We close another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We close with a montage of the Special Reserve Police graduation. We hope you enjoy.